So, good morning everyone. In the last class, we have studied about the basics of clinical data management and the main steps involved in the data management process were, if you can recall, it were first of all, we will do the review and finalization of the study documents. And the next step, that is after all the particular data collection forms are ready, we can move to the data collection. And once the data is collected, next what we will usually do is that we will do the CRF tracking. Then we can do the data validation. And after the data validation, we will do the discrepancy management. That is, in order to find if any discrepancies are there and to correct the discrepancies. So this was a topic which we stopped in the last class. So after the discrepancy management, that is all the discrepancies are being solved, the next step involved in CDM is database locking. And the term is evident by the word meaning itself. That is, we are locking the database so that no new entries can be made into the database. So what happens here is that after a proper quality check and assurance, the final data validation is done. That is, once more we are doing all the process once again. And if there are no new discrepancies, the SAS datasets are finalized with the consultation with the statistician, and all the data management activities should be completed prior to database lock. And in order to make sure this, there will be a pre-lock checklist. And if the pre-lock checklist is being satisfied, we can lock the database. What happens is that once the database is being locked, no new data cannot be entered or no new data can be altered. Existing data cannot be altered from the database. So once the approval for locking is obtained from all the stakeholders, the database is locked and clean data is extracted for statistical analysis. Now, the data extraction is done from final database after locking, and this is usually followed by archival. So these are the processes which happens in a CDM or clinical data management during clinical research. So I'll just repeat it once again. What all things we do? First of all, we can review and finalize the documents, and once the documents are ready, we can go for data collection. After the data collection, we can go for data CRF tracking, and after the CRF tracking, we can go for data validation, and after the data validation, we can go for discrepancy management, and after discrepancy management, we can go for database locking. So once the database locking is over, the activities or roles and responsibilities of the clinical data management team is over. Now what can happen is that the statistical team will take over the activities from the data management team. Now, to have a nutshell of activities, what are the roles and responsibilities in CDM, or what are the stakeholders, what are the persons involved in CDM? Usually, the CDM team, different roles and responsibilities are attributed to different team members. If you look into the minimum educational qualifications, mostly it is having only one criteria, that they should be having graduation in life science and they should be having adequate computer knowledge. Now, the list of roles can be given below are, first of all, there is a data manager, there is a database programmer, medical coder, clinical data coordinator, quality control associate, and data entry associate. Now, we can look into the activities of each and every person. The first person, or the person at the top of the ladder, is the data manager. The data manager is responsible for supervising the entire CDM process. He prepares the data management process, approves the CDM procedures, and all internal documents related to CDM activities. Also, the controlling and allocating database access to the team members is the responsibility of data manager. That is, he is the highest person. He is the shark in the member. He allocates all the activities. He controls all the activities in the data management process. Below him comes the database programmer. Here itself the word meaning is evident. Programmer or designer. He designs the CRF or he designs the study base. So all the things he does is that he performs CRF annotation, creates a study database, programs the edit checks. We have come across this term edit check. Where does edit check come? If there are any misinterpretations or misinformation or any kind of missing data or inaccurate data, we can have this particular EdCheck program. So all these programs are being designed and being programmed by the database programmer. The next person in the team is the medical coder. Again, medical coder will be a relatively new term for you. Again, here it doesn't mean a big thing. Medical coder means there will be certain codes for all the medical diseases. So he is a person who will code the particular disease conditions or adverse events. That is, small code terms can be used for all the conditions instead of writing them in a big manner. So that's the main responsibility of this medical coder. Now we have the clinical data coordinator. What he does is that he designs a CRF, prepares a CRF filling instruction, and is responsible for the developing the discrepancy management and discrepancy validation procedure. All of the CDM related documents, checklist, guideline documents are prepared by the clinical data coordinator. So ideally he does all the work. Another person in the term is the quality control associate, and as the word meaning itself, he does and checks the accuracy of data and conducts data audits. That is quality control during the procedure. And the last person in the particular group is the data entry personnel. That is, he will be tracking the receipt of CRF pages and performs data entry to the database. So I mentioned two types of entry to the database. One was by paper CRF and another was by eCRF. So if paper CRF, what happens? The site personnel, that is the investigator, will fill the paper CRF. After monitoring, the particular CRF will take the paper CRF and he will take it to the data management team. From the data management team, the data entry personnel will see the data and he will enter the data to databases. So what happens in eCRF? In eCRF, the investigator is directly entering the data to the database. So in both these criteria, whether it is a paper CRF or it is an eCRF, the data entry personnel will be there. In paper CRF, he will directly enter the data. In eCRF, he will once again check the data for any kind of missing data and all. So concluding, we can say that the CDM has evolved in response to ever increasing demand from pharmaceutical companies to fast track the drug development process and from regulatory authorities to put the quality systems in place to ensure generation of high quality data for accurate drug evaluation. And to meet the expectations, there is a gradual shift from paper-based to electronic systems of data management. Developments of technological front have positively impacted the CDM process and systems, thereby leading to encouraging results on speed and quality of data being generated. So again, thank you for listening to my session. Kindly go through the session. If in case of any queries, kindly feel free to revert back.